So the first one is ability. Ability. So this is something that you can do, like a talent. So I don't have the ability to play piano. It's not something that I can do. Or I don't have the ability to fix a computer. I
abnormal path. Mentors, your ability to copy is the biggest predictor of the success that you will have in life. As Picasso said, good artists copy, but great artists steal, right? And I looked around and it's interesting. Did you know Albert Einstein had a mentor? Every Thursday, he would have lunch with the mentor growing up. Jay-Z, the rapper, he had a mentor. Oprah Winfrey said she had 2 mentors. Gandhi had a mentor. Alexander the Great had Aristotle. Bill Gates had Paul Allen. Warren Buffett had Benjamin Graham. There's something here that most of us have missed out on. So I want to share with you some things that I found, some specifics that you can do with mentors. The first thing, the first rule is, I call them the mentor rules. It's the law of 33%.
I don't understand. It's not a talent or something. So today we're going to practice our vocabulary, the definitions, and as we do this, we're going to practice our questions and intonation. So let's review. Our first one is the open-ended question. So that means there can be many different answers to this question. And it usually starts with words that begin with WH. What, why, when, where, and even how. And at the end of this question, we go down. So let's practice. We'll use the word this. So Rachel, what does this mean? What does this mean? So we really go down at the end. All right, our next question is a yes or no question. And this usually starts with words like do or can. And the answer is usually yes or no. And this question is a little easier because we just gradually go up with the question. So let's practice. Rachel, do you know what this means? Do you know what this means? All right, so now that we understand the intonation, we can use these questions to find out the meaning of words or the definition of words. So let's look at our vocabulary and discuss what these words mean. So the first one is ability. Ability. So this is something that you can do, like a talent. So I don't have the ability to play piano. It's not something that I can do. Or I don't have the ability to fix a computer. I don't understand. It's not a talent or something I can do. Next one, above. So above is a direction. It's the opposite of below or under. For example, my bottle is above my cell phone. It's on top. It's above. The last one, abrupt. Abrupt. So this is when something happens very quickly and we're not ready for it. So 2 examples. The virus, COVID. The COVID virus was very abrupt. It happened quickly. We weren't ready. Or if you're driving in a car with your friend, you're driving and then all of a sudden they stop. You weren't ready. That was an abrupt stop. It was very quickly. Okay, next page. Absent. So absent is when we're not somewhere that we should be. For example, if we don't go to work, we're absent from work. We didn't go, but we should be there. Or if we don't go to school, we're sick. We're absent from school. We're not there. Our next word, accident. Accident is something that happens that was not planned. For example, we have a car accident. It wasn't on purpose. It was by mistake. Or I dump my water by accident, not on purpose. And our last one, accurate. Accurate. So this is something that is exact and correct, like information that is correct. So when we watch the news on TV, the news, we want accurate information. We want it to be correct and exact. We don't want to hear lies or opinions. We want accurate information. All right, our next page, our first word, achieve. Achieve. So this is when we finish something that we really want to do. So you are learning English. When you speak English great and perfect, you achieve speaking English. You did it. You're finished. You did great. Achieve. Across. Across. This is a direction. It's opposite. So if you're on the sidewalk of a street, you're walking on the sidewalk, and you go across the street to the other side. So it's opposite. Across. Next one, adapt. Adapt. This is when you change depending on what is around you. For example, I lived where it was hot all the time. The weather was hot. Now I live where the weather is cold. So my body adapts to the cold. It changes. It gets used to the cold weather. It adapts to the cold. Our next word, action. So action, we use this word for verb. It's something that you do. It's movement, a verb or an action. So it's a movement. And our last word, addition. Addition. This is when you add or put things together. For example, math class in school, mathematics, you do addition. For example, 1 plus 1 equals 2. That is addition. You put two things together. 2 plus 2 equals 4. That is addition, a part of math. Our next one, address. Address. This is when you are speaking to someone. So the president addresses the audience. He is speaking directly to the audience. Address. He addresses the audience. Afraid. This is similar to the word scared. You don't like it. It frightens you. So, for example, I am afraid of spiders. I don't like spiders. Or little children are afraid of the dark. It's scary. They don't like it. Adjust. Adjust is to move something, to put it in the correct position or place. So if you have a picture on the wall, a photo, and it's crooked, you adjust the picture so it's straight. It's in the correct position. Administration. Administration. So this is like a company or business, an organization, it's the people who look over everything. So it's the people like a boss or a supervisor, a manager. They are all part of administration. They oversee the company. Our next one, adopt. This is when you bring something to be part of your family. So if there is a child who doesn't have a mom or dad, a family adopts the child. They bring the child and they take care of it. Or you can adopt a dog or a cat. You bring it and take care of it as part of your family. The last one, adult. So adult is opposite of a child. So a child is young, an adult is old. They're grown up, an adult. Again. Again is when you repeat something. You do it for a second time. Can you ask the question again? So a second time. Or can you come here again? So it's doing something for the second time. Against. One definition of the word against is when two things are not in agreement. They're in opposition. So two people have different opinions. They don't agree. They don't get along. They are against each other. And our last one, agency. This is similar to the word like an organization or a company. All the people are working for the same purpose. For example, an insurance agency. So everyone is working to help with insurance. Or a federal is like a government agency. Everyone is working for the same purpose. So like a company or an organization. Our next one, blood. Blood. So blood is what's inside our body. So if I cut my hand, blood comes out. It's red. It's inside our body. The next one, blush. So two definitions. One is a noun and one is a verb. So the noun is makeup that a woman puts on her cheeks. So I put on blush on your cheeks to make them pink or red. The second definition is the action or the verb. This is if someone says something to you that makes you embarrassed. Oh, you're so pretty, you're so handsome, and your cheeks turn pink or red, you blush, your face turns red or pink. That is blush. And our last one, brush. This is also a noun and a verb. So the noun is a tool that we use. So you have a handle and then little pieces of hair that come up. That is a brush. So I use a brush to paint my house. Or I use a brush for my hair. Or I use a toothbrush. So it has little hairs coming up. And the action, the verb, is doing this. I brush my hair. I brush my teeth. So it's the action. Okay, so our next page, bubble. This is something that's round and it has air inside. So if we chew gum, we blow a bubble and it pops. Or little children like to blow bubbles. They blow bubbles. Our next word, buckle. So this is usually connected with a belt. For example, in the car, we use a seat belt. So when you close the belt, it goes click. That's the buckle. That's the noun, buckle. But it's also the action. Buckle your seatbelt. Close your seatbelt. Or in your pants, when you wear a belt, When you close the belt, that's the buckle where you close it. So it could be a big buckle or a small buckle. Our last one, bud. This is a flower before it opens. So when it's closed, that's the bud, a flower bud. And then later, it opens. Our next one, bug. This is similar to the word insect. The little tiny things like an ant, a spider, a bee, all these little tiny creatures, those are bugs or insects. Our next one, bulb. This is like a light. A light, it's a piece of glass that you turn in. So I change the light bulb. I have to put in a new light bulb. Or also, it's a part of a plant. For example, a flower, a tulip. Under the ground, there's a round bulb, a bulb. So it's under the ground and the plant grows out of the bulb. Next word, button, button. So this is something that we use to close our shirt. So you have a button on your shirt or on your sleeves. You have 3 buttons on your sleeves. Next page, bum. This is used to describe a person who is lazy and doesn't want to work. You can kind of use it as a joke. For example, my son is a bum. He just lays on the sofa and doesn't do anything. Bum. Our next one, bump. This is when something is flat and then it comes up. So if you're driving a car, there's a bump in the road. You have to go over the bump. Or if you hit your head really hard, you get a bump on your head. The last one, bun. One definition is this, what's in my hair. This is a bun, where you wrap your hair around on top of your head. That's a bun. Also, it's something we eat. It's a kind of bread. It's round. And for example, a cinnamon bun. It has butter and cinnamon. It's delicious. So when it's bread and it's rolled around, that's a bun. Our next one, bunch. This is an amount of something, a quantity. So it's not a little amount, it's not a lot, it's in the middle. Bunch. So a bunch of bananas. So maybe you have 6 or 10 bananas, a bunch of bananas. Bundle is similar, but it means that something is wrapped around so it doesn't come apart. So you have many newspapers and you put a string around the newspapers and you tie it. That's a bundle. It can't come apart. And our last one, bus. So this is like a school bus. It's a type of vehicle and it's long and you can put a lot of people inside. A school bus, or I go to work on the bus. Next one, buzz. So buzz is a sound. For example, a bee goes buzz as it flies. Or if we push a doorbell, it goes buzz. That's buzz, that sound. Our next one, club. One definition, this is a place where people go to party, to dance, to drink. They go to the club. And our last one, come. This is an action. When someone comes to you, please come here. So you're asking them to arrive in this location. Come, it's an action. Couple. This is 2. Couple always means 2 things. So you have a husband and a wife. They are a couple. Or please give me a couple of eggs. 2 eggs, a couple. Crumb. This is when you have bread or cake and little pieces fall off onto the plate. Those little pieces are crumbs, real tiny. Those are crumbs. And our last word, crumble. This is the action to make crumbs. So if you have dry bread, I crumble the bread to make little pieces. Also, if there's a really old concrete or cement wall, really old, it starts to crumble. It starts to fall apart and little pieces fall off. Crumble. Our next one, cuddle. Cuddle. This is when you hold something really tight, something that you love and you want to show affection. Cuddle. So it's not a hug, it's longer than a hug. You really hold it. Like babies like to be cuddled. They like to cuddle. Our next one, crush. This is when you really like smash something. For example, a soda can. A soda can. You crush the soda can, so you really push it. Cup. This is something we drink out of. Please give me a cup of soda or a cup of wine. So it's the thing that we drink out of, cup. Crust. This is the bread, for example, on a pizza. You have a pizza, the bread underneath is the crust, and you have an edge around. That's the crust. Or a pie, a lemon pie. The edge, the bread or dough underneath, that is the crust. And the last one, cub. This is a baby bear, a baby tiger, a baby fox. They are called cub. Our next one, we can say aunt or aunt. This is the woman, like uncle is the man, aunt or aunt is the woman. So the sister of my mother is my aunt. Next one, block. Block is something that's square. So little children like to play with blocks. So they put them on top of each other and they fall over. Those are blocks. Or in a city has a block. So all the houses are inside a square. That is a city block. And Bob is a name. That's all that means. So a capital B, that's a name, Bob. Bottle. Bottle is something that we drink out of or contains liquid. So this is a bottle. Or I buy a bottle of soda. Soda. Our next one, box. Box is something square and we put things inside of it. So if we move to a different house, we put things inside of boxes to move. It's square. And our last one, calm or calm. This is how we feel. If we're very relaxed, we're not stressed or anxious, we're calm, calm. Next one, chop. Chop is similar to the word cut, but cut is really neat. Chop is a little messy. So if we're chopping vegetables, it's really fast. They don't look all the same size. Or chop a tree. You chop a tree so it falls down. So it's not very exact like cut. Clock. This is something that we use to tell time. So it has numbers and little fingers that point to the time. So I have a clock next to my bed, so I know what time to wake up. Last one, cob. The only definition for cob is a cob of corn. So it's actually a cob. Corn can be in a can, but when it's on the cob, that's how we eat it. That's a cob of corn, how it grows. Cod. Cod is a type of fish, and we eat it. It's very good for you. So it's a kind of fish. Cotton is a type of fabric or material that we use to make clothing. It's real soft and light. Or a cotton ball. It's round and white and fluffy. That's a cotton ball. And the last one, crop. Crop is one definition. is for farmers that plant different kinds of crops. So a corn crop, a potato crop, a bean crop. So each different kind is called a crop. Also, it means to cut or make something smaller. So for example, if you take a picture with your phone, and then you crop the picture, you make it smaller. So that's an action or a noun. Knob. Knob is what we use to open a door. So it's not the action, it's what we turn. It's round. And we turn the knob to open a door. So it's round. Also in our kitchen, we have cabinets to open. If they're round, that's a knob to open a cabinet. Knock. Knock, one definition is an action. I knock on the door. Also the noun, I hear a knock. So that's a noun, knock. The last one, knot. This is when you tie something really tight and it won't open. So it's real tight. That's a knot. It will not open. Next page, duck. This is an animal, a type of bird, and it goes quack, quack. That's a duck. A dock, dock. This is a walkway made out of wood that's on top of water. And you bring in a boat and you park the boat. And then you get out of the boat and walk on the dock. So the dock is on top of the water. Dull. Dull is the opposite of shiny. So a car is shiny, but when the car is old, it's dull. It's not shiny. Or hair. Hair is shiny or dull. Doll. Doll is something that a little girl has. A little girl has a Barbie doll or a baby doll. She likes to carry it. It looks like a baby or a person, but it's pretend. Color. This is, for example, red, blue, green, yellow, purple. These are all types of color. Collar. Collar is something that is around our neck. This is a collar. It's around my neck. Collar. Hunk. Hunk is a funny name or a name for a very handsome man. So maybe a wife calls her husband a hunk, or a girl calls her boyfriend a hunk. Honk is an action. In our car, we have the steering wheel, and there's a horn in the middle. We honk the horn. So it kind of describes the noise and the action. Hut. Hut is not a house, smaller than a house, and very simple. For example, there's a roof, and then there's little posts that hold it up. So similar to a shack. So not as nice as a house, less. Hot is a temperature. So it's not hot, it's cold. So hot, cold, they're opposite. Luck. Luck is when you have good things happen to you, or you get good things. For example, good luck. So that means you want something good to happen to the person. Have good luck. Lock. Lock is a noun and a verb. This is how we close a door with a key. So I lock the door when I leave the house. That's the action. But the actual thing is the lock. I have to fix the lock. The lock is broken on my door. It can also be a round thing that you use to lock. Like in school, you have a locker. You lock your locker with a round hook or a key. So the verb and noun. Rub. Rub is an action where we use our hand. So I rub on lotion. Rub. So it's the action of putting on something. Rob. Rob is like the word steal, where you take something that is not yours. So I rob the car. I take the car. It's not my car. Shut. Shut is also an action, to close something. I shut the door. So it means you close the door. Shut. Shot. This is also a noun or a verb. For example, a shot, you go to the doctor and they give you a shot in your arm at the doctor. That's a shot when they put in medicine. Or it is the past tense of the word shoot. I shoot a gun. Yesterday I shot a gun, or a bow and arrow. So shoot, shot. Next, stuck. Stuck is when you can't get out. For example, the cat is stuck in the tree. He can't come down. He's stuck in the tree. Or we are stuck at home. We can't leave our house. We're stuck at home. And the last one, boss. Boss is when you work somewhere, the person that's above you. They tell you what to do. You have to communicate with him. So I have a very good boss, or I don't like my boss at work. He isn't nice to me. Boss. Awesome, we made it to the end. Congratulations, and I hope you enjoyed the explanation of these vocabulary words.